You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah by your side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through.
Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our Akida class. And just to let everybody know, yesterday I couldn't, due to technical problems, I couldn't do the Hasidic Tafsir. But that class is so important, inshallah, I'll do it tomorrow. So instead of doing this class tomorrow at 6:30, I'll do the Hasidic Tafsir class that I was trying to do yesterday before we had the technical difficulties. So that'll take place tomorrow for the young brothers. I know a lot of my young youth here are looking forward. They look forward to that class because they're trying to understand the Quran better. Okay, so, and also before I begin, let me remind everybody that we have a lecture at 7 p.m. in 30 minutes. This class is going to be short today because we have the history of Palestine. The history of Palestine with Brother Youssef. That's going to be at 7 p.m., which is in about 30 minutes. So that's tonight. And also, this is the Call In and Ask Sister Layla live show, day 2 at 9:30 tonight. Any questions that you guys have about Islam? That's why, like I said, this class will be short. I'll just do the lecture and then I'll log out. Any questions, you can save them for tonight when I do my Call In and Ask Sister Layla live show at 9:30. And please support this dawah effort, guys. We are desperately in need of money to support this. We are a nonprofit organization, and all of your donations go to cover our expenses. So with that said, let's get started. We've been speaking about how even when it comes to entertainment, as Muslims, we have to apply wal Bara. We have to apply allegiance and disassociation. And remember, allegiance is to whatever does not contradict Islamic values, Islamic ideology. If I'm watching a television show, or I'm watching or hearing something on the radio, or watching something on YouTube, whatever I am watching or listening to should not contradict Islamic morals. It's our Islamic values. Does everybody understand that? Okay. If it is material or if it is information that contradicts our morality and our Islamic values, and we have to separate ourselves from it, distance ourselves from it, not take part in it. Remember the verses of the Quran where Allah says, do not sit in the company of those who commit evil. Do not sit in the company of those who do wrong. That includes watching television. That includes watching YouTube. When you guys are listening to these brothers and sisters talk about this religion in a bad way or in a wrongful way, you have to distance yourself from that. You're not supposed to sit there and listen and be a part of it. So that's what we've been discussing. And today, what we're going to do, what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd, may Allah bless him and forgive him of his sins, Ameen. What Kareem Abu Zayd does in this chapter of his masterpiece is he talks about, he gives suggestions on what we can do as Muslims living in the West to curtail what we see on television, to curtail what we hear on the radio or YouTube that may compromise our relationship with Allah. So let's put the PowerPoint up. And this is the problem I had yesterday. So watch me, Norto. Make sure that it shows up on YouTube. I think I know what the problem was yesterday with me being sleepy and tired. I did it wrong. But I'm not supposed to touch this computer. Let's try to share it, the PowerPoint. I feel better today. Okay, so today, alhamdulillah, we're going to be covering pages 524 through 526. And what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd did, and I really like how he's done this. He put together some Islamic guidelines that we can incorporate that will help us to navigate when we're looking at entertainment. And we talked about yesterday, last time we met for this class, it all comes down to that one verse of the Quran. That one verse of the Quran where Allah says, in the interpretation of the meaning, tell the believing men to lower their gaze from looking at things that are forbidden for them and to protect their private parts. Why does Allah single out the men here? There's another verse where Allah says women too, but in this verse, it's geared towards the men because men suffer with lust more than women do. You know, Allah created us, whereas we complement one another. Everybody understand that? We complement each other. Whereas women are more emotional. We have a hard time controlling our temper, our jealousy, our anxiety. Men are more lustful. That means men are easily turned on by what they see. So here you can see Allah is addressing the men, and he's telling you men, if you truly believe in Allah, because of the weakness that you have controlling your sexual desires, don't look at that which is gonna arouse lust within you. Does everybody understand that? So this verse serves as a moral guide to promote modesty and integrity in our social interactions with each other as opposite genders, opposite sex. So, and it applies not just with each other, but also even with what we look at on television, what you read in a book. You know, if reading a book that has a sex scene in it arouses the feelings of desire and want and need, then don't read that book. Okay? If watching a television program, you know, and the women are dressed, you know, looking like, if you're watching Cardi B and Nicki Minaj at the awards, you sitting there watching Beyonce and them, and it's stirring up these emotions, you don't need to watch it. If you're watching the Olympics and those women running with those little bitty panties on, you know, it's doing something to you, then lower your gaze. Don't watch it. And I mean, this is a lot to take in because we're all of different levels of strength and weakness. I can see something and it doesn't bother me. You see it, it bothers you. So we have to be very cautious. So again, this is not just a momentary decision, but it's also a continuous effort that we have to make as Muslims whenever we're watching anything, whenever we're exposed to anything. If it's something that's going to cause me to become sexually ignited, sexually attracted, it's going to bring about feelings of lust, desire, want, and need, I'm going to have to walk away from it, lower my gaze. It may even be a hamburger. Some people, for example, overeat. There are some people who have an addiction to food. If you watch a Burger King commercial on TV, it's going to make you want to buy a burger, even though you may not need it. You may not be hungry. So lower your gaze, turn the channel. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I forgot what I was doing. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Am I back? Wait a minute. I did something stupid. I got two different mice. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay. I got two mice here, mouse here. And I done messed up. Y'all give me a second. I know I messed up. Layla was talking and she hit the wrong mouse. Okay, here I come. I'm gonna fix it now, inshallah. I got it. Inshallah, I got it. Let me have it, Allah. There, I got it. There it is. I got too many mouse. And now let me fix it so I can see the screen. Go back to Zoom. Make this larger like that. There you go. I can read that better. So again, we have to be careful. We have to learn to lower our gaze against that which is going to bring about emotions, desires, and things that might be detrimental to us. And so now what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd does is he gives us practical approaches that we can use to protect our soul and to help us with the lowering of the gaze. And you might want to take screenshots of this for the kids. Something that can help us is simply changing the channel, turning away from it. If you're watching television or something and there's a commercial or there's a television show or something that has content in it, that's immodest, content in it, that's going to bring about feelings of desire and lust and all of that, then simply turn the channel. Turn the channel or just don't look at it. And also another option we have is filtering. Alhamdulillah, we have parental controls for the children. Like even with the Disney Channel, I have the Disney Channel and all my grandkids share it, but my daughter put parental controls on, whereas my grandsons can only watch, that which has no kissing, no sex, nothing in it. Whereas for a person like me, Disney has all kind of stuff on it now. I like to watch Naked and Afraid. I like to watch survival shows. That might not be appropriate, for the little boys. So we put the parental controls on. So this is one option that we have, filtering. And also, even with television, there's selective subscription plans we can take into consideration too. They have the bundles, the Hulu and Disney and Discover Channel bundles and stuff like that. So we need to make use of this. Remember, technology comes from Allah. Everything, good and evil, comes from Allah. Disease, sickness, war comes from Allah. Also technology and things like that too. So, take advantage of what Allah gives us. Okay. Also, you can do pre-screening and research. Say, for example, there's a movie that your kids want to watch. Like, for example, that movie Abigail, that's a vampire movie. And there's a little girl, they just show a little girl dancing. Before you let your daughter, by the way, I saw it. It's not for kids. It's not for children. Do your research before you see what the reviews are, see what it's about. That movie is a comedy. And it's graphics, it's the vampires killing and all of that. So, you know, do your research, see what the movie entails. And by the way, this thing that's sitting on my screen in the way, just get it out of there. iPhone 2, we don't know anybody named iPhone 2. So you can just go ahead and just block that person up out of here. People come in my Zoom room, you better have a name. If you ain't got a name, you in shame. Get it out of here, family, because it's blocking my screen. Wait a minute. I can't touch the button because this is blocking my screen. I guess I'm going to have to. Thank you. I can't move anything because it's blocking my screen. Okay, thanks. All right. So, subhanallah. Yeah, so do pre-screening and research to make sure what the movie is about, because it may look like it's a kid's movie, but it's not. You know, it's a female child actor, but that little actor girl does a lot of bad things in that movie. So you might want to do some research on it. And also, again, the principle of lowering the gaze requires thoughtful application. So we have to take the steps to not put ourselves in situations that may end up having a bad outcome for us. So again, I really like how he broke this stuff down, because the aim here, the higher aim, everything is about the higher aim. The higher aim of implementing wal Bara is to protect your soul, to protect your soul from that which can be harmful for it. The higher aim is to protect yourself from being tempted away from the righteous path. So now what I'm going to do is give you guys a quiz. Okay? Just a couple of questions today, because we have another lecture. What do you guys think about this statement here? What is censorable for one person may not be censorable for another. Would you say that that is true or false? What do you guys think? What is censorable for one person may not be censorable for another. Is that statement true or false? What do you guys think?
True.
Okay, for those who said true, speak up, and why?
I said it's true. Like, say, for instance, you know, for children and adults, we know what we allow them to be around, what we allow them to hear or see. We can censor that, but those things that we're able and allowable for us to see or hear or see, you know, those things are not permissible more so, but those things are, I would say, at a mature level for us to look at, as opposed to them that we know more or can take it more than they can, like, for instance, murder or whatnot.
Exactly. That's the whole thing, guys. We're all in different levels of strengths and weaknesses. You know, I may be desensitized to something that you're not. For example, working in a healthcare field, you know, we're desensitized to a certain extent of looking at the naked body. I mean, when you got to change a bunch of men and give them baths and showers, you become desensitized somewhat, okay? Whereas another person can come into the health field, see a naked man, a naked patient, and go, oh, I don't know what to do. Well, I'm desensitized. I've been cleaning and washing them. These are old men, and, you know, so again, we're all of different levels. So it may be censorable for you, but not censorable for me. So that's why it's important for us to know our strengths and to know our weaknesses. Every Muslim should know his or her strengths and his or her weaknesses. Okay. What about this question? Give me some examples now of something that may be censorable for one person, but not censorable for another. just to make sure you guys understand. Give me some examples of something that may be censorable for one and not for another.
Maybe like romance scenes. One person may be too lonely to view that stuff, and they might see it and want boyfriends or girlfriends, while another person who doesn't really care for that stuff can watch it and not be affected.
Exactly. And a lot of us here in America, we're desensitized. Like I told you the other day, I remember when the movie Twilight came out. Twilight was nothing. It was one of my favorite movies. It's just, nothing's in there. But for some of my Arabic friends, they couldn't stand it. I said, what's wrong? She's holding hands with Edward. Excuse me? Oh, well, we're desensitized to that here. Okay. Another example, Sister Askia says violence. Exactly. Some of us can watch murder scenes. You can watch shooting scenes and it not bother you. But it can bother some of the rest of us. It can bother. Everybody can't watch that stuff. Okay. A man without a shirt can cause an arousal to someone, whereas another woman can see a man without a shirt and it does nothing to her. Exactly. Some people are turned on to the human body easily, and others are not at all. Okay? So we're all different. You're going to have to use your own discretion when it comes to entertainment. And this is what we're going to be dealing with here in this class. We're all different. That's why when you read those fatwas on the internet, that's why Islam ain't based on a fatwa. A sheikh may give a fatwa to one person, but he ain't going to give the same fatwa to you because he know that you're different. Like the Prophet told the young boys, he told the young boys who couldn't control their sex or desire to fast because they weren't able to provide and maintain. They couldn't get married. But for the men like Abu Bakr and them who could marry, he said, go get married. He didn't tell them to fast. He told them to get married. Why ain't you marry somebody? So we're all different. Exactly. Even like the operating room. You might, some people see a human body being cut open. They can't take it. Blood makes them sick. Somebody else can see the same thing and it doesn't bother them. So again, we're all different. That's why there's no one ruling for everyone. Even the Prophet didn't give the same rule to everyone. It depends on you. Where you are in your faith, where you are in your strength and weakness.